mate, 1 carpenter's crew, 1 sailmaker, 1 armourer, 1 corporal, 1 clerk and steward, 23 able seamen, a total of 44. 2 skilful and careful men were appointed, at Sir Joseph Banks' recommendation, to have the management of the plants intended to be brought home. The one, David Nelson, who'd been on similar employment in Captain Cook's last voyage, the other, William Brown, as an assistant to him. With these 2, our whole number amounted to 46. It was proposed that our route to the Society Islands should be round Cape Horn, and the greatest dispatch became necessary, as the season was already far advanced. But the shipwrights not being able to complete their work by the time the ship was ready in other respects, our sailing was unavoidably retarded. However, by the 4th of October, the pilot came on board to take us down the river. On the 9th, we fell down to Long Reach, where we received our gunners' stores and guns, 4 4-pounders, and 10 swivels. The ship was stored and victualled for 18 months. In addition to the customary allowance of provisions, we were supplied with sauerkraut, portable soup, essence of malt, dried malt, and a proportion of barley and wheat in lieu of oatmeal. I was likewise furnished with a quantity of ironwork and trinkets to serve in our intercourse with the natives in the South Seas, and from the Board of Longitude I received a timekeeper made by Mr. Kendall. On the 15th I received orders to proceed to Spithead, but the winds and weather were so unfavourable that we didn't arrive there till the 4th of November. On the 24th I received from Lord Hood, who commanded at Spithead, my final orders. The wind, which for several days before had been favourable, was now turned directly against us. On the 28th the ship's company received 2 months' pay in advance, and on the following morning we worked out to St. Helens, where we were obliged to anchor. We made different unsuccessful attempts to get down Channel, but contrary winds and bad weather constantly forced us back to St. Helens, or Spithead, until Sunday the 23rd of December, when we sailed with a fair wind. During our stay at Spithead, the rate of the timepiece was several times examined by Mr. Bailey's observations at the Portsmouth Observatory. On the 19th of December, the last time of its being examined on shore, it was 1 minute 52 seconds 5 too fast for mean time, and then losing at the rate of 1 second 1 per day, and at this rate I estimate its going when we sailed. The object of all the former voyages to the South Seas undertaken by the command of His present Majesty has been the advancement of science and the increase of knowledge. This voyage may be reckoned the first, the intention of which has been to derive benefit from those distant discoveries. For the more fully comprehending the nature and plan of the expedition, and that the reader may be possessed of every information necessary for entering on the following sheets, I shall here lay before him a copy of the instructions I received from the Admiralty, and likewise a short description of the breadfruit. By the Commissioners for executing the office of Lord High Admiral of Great Britain and Ireland, and so on. Whereas the King, upon a representation from the merchants and planters interested in His Majesty's West India possessions, that the introduction of the breadfruit trees into the islands of those seas to constitute an article of food would be of very essential benefit to the inhabitants, hath, in order to promote the interests of so respectable a body of his subjects, especially in an instance which promises general advantage, thought fit that measures should be taken for the procuring some of those trees and conveying them to the said West India Islands. And whereas the vessel under your command hath in consequence thereof been stored and victualled for that service, and fitted with proper conveniences and necessaries for the preservation of as many of the said trees as from her size can be taken on board her, and you have been directed to receive on board her the 2 gardeners, David Nelson and William Brown, who, from their knowledge of trees and plants, have been hired for the purpose of selecting such as shall appear to be of a proper species and size, you are therefore, in pursuance of His Majesty's pleasure, signified to us